Most everyone collects something. For some people, it's not just a hobby, it's a passion. But why? We talked to a collector who is also a neurologist to explore that question. Historical artifacts, comic books, mugs.
It's about the hunt, where you find them.
Coins, cars, toys.
At a certain point, the house was overflowing.
Baseball cards, records, and collections that defy easy description. It's passion that seems to go unfulfilled as we keep gathering more.
When you go beyond wanting it, when you need it, then you're a collector.
This is a Madame Alexander Victoria doll. This is a Kewpie doll. This is a Sasha doll named Gregor. This is everyone's favorite robot, Astro Boy. These are Cabbage Patch Kids.
Some people hate clutter.
This is a Tintaire Honey doll by F&B.
But Ashley Brooke Serro doesn't see clutter, she sees her collection.
This is Shirley Temple, America's sweetheart, right in the 1930s.
Dolls line the walls of the living room and the bedroom.
So here we go.
All right.
This is the wall of dolls.
And another bedroom, floor
No,
to
not
ceiling.
really. Giggles is called Giggles because if you put her hands together, she will giggle.
Ah. The collection started with her mother many decades ago.
I grew up in a house that was full of dolls, so it was never anything odd to become a collector. It was just second nature to start collecting the dolls I'd get for holidays, putting them on display, making them pretty.
Maybe you've never thought about this, but what is the psychology that takes you beyond I like dolls to this?
It's a thrill of the hunt. It's like when you are searching for something for years and you find it. It's so thrilling.
One might argue you've run out of space. What are your thoughts on that?
Every collector runs out of space at one point in time, and then they make it work. And we're in the make it work stage. But yeah, we're making it work.
Okay. Stephen Mullins runs out of space for his mug collection. They're called Toby jugs.
At one stage, his wife turned round to him and said, "You've got to get them out of the house."
The solution? Start a museum.
These are all $500 to $1,000.
Wow. Mullins' friend Kevin Pearson is the curator of the American Toby Jug Museum. 100 cabinets of colorful character mugs.
It's Alfred Hitchcock. Most of it's a white curtain handle. It's a scene from one of his famous films.
Psycho. Right?
Yeah.
There's just something fun about them.
Yes, there is. They're ridiculous.
He says the appeal is easily acquired and often affordable, but some Toby jugs are worth thousands of dollars. How did it all start?
Well, it all started in the 1770s. There was a guy called Toby Philpott. He was recognized as a bit of a wit and raconteur. At the same time, he was known for his beer drinking prowess. When Toby Philpott died, someone made a Toby jug of him sitting down, holding his beer and drinking it. They were the first Toby jugs. That's a nice example of Winston Churchill.
A walk through the Toby Jug Museum is a walk through history. Benjamin Franklin. From world leaders.
Franklin Roosevelt next to King George.
To pop culture and everything in between. And these are not famous people, they're just sort of like occupations.
Yeah.
Smuggler, squire,
barrister,
village idiot. What fuels this passion?
And
Shirley Muller is an adjunct professor at Indiana University's Department of Neurology. She's also a collector. She collects 16th to 18th century Chinese porcelain. How do you stumble across China? I mean, where does that get started?
well, when I was a teenager, I saw this movie, The Inn of Six Happiness.
Welcome to the Inn of the Sixth Happiness.
Ingrid Bergman was the star, and she led these Chinese children away from Japanese invaders. And I thought, oh my God, I want to do that when I grow up.
A woman alone in a strange land who dared to challenge a continent with her two bare hands. And
But life as a neurologist, wife, mother, does not allow time for such dramatic missions. Then she discovers a book on Chinese porcelain.
And it just opened my heart, so to speak. Maybe I can't go to China, but I can learn about it. And I can be involved in this way, collecting this china that was made many years ago.
Now she's written her own book, Inside the Head of a Collector. Does this ever become irrational?
Oh, I'm afraid it does.
Some collectors spend more than they can afford. As a neurologist, do you say that someone can be addicted to this? Not the common usage of addiction, but like a literal addiction to this?
That is a really good question. People can have a behavioral addiction, which means that their body doesn't crave it, but their mind does, essentially. Think of what we do. We go to work, usually work for somebody else. We have to do whatever they say. We have to follow their parameters. But with collecting, you control. You can choose what you want. You can buy it when you want to.
What is it about the object?
It has to do with nostalgia. I think something from childhood.
This is a classic toy line. Playmates was the brand. Really
Perhaps nothing is more nostalgic than those toys from your childhood. Nick Mayer collects toys, a heartwarming reminder of years gone by. And now he has a store, Bric-a-Brac Records and Collectibles, to help others connect to their childhood.
I've always had a lot of things. It was fingerboards and Pez dispensers when I was in middle and high school, and now it's records and toys. I just like cool stuff, I guess.
And in the 21st century, an actual object seems so much more comforting than a digital playlist or video game.
Something about the permanence of a physical thing is important to me.
All right, what do we have here?
MC Hammer, one of the early sort of crossover musician toy product lines.
Do you enjoy the hunt?
Oh yeah, yeah. 1 out of 50 times you're at an estate sale or flea market or whatever and you find like something really unique. That's what makes all the travel worthwhile.
Ashley doesn't have a museum or a store. She lives in a house with dolls staring back at her. She's used to it. She shares her collection online.
I want doll collecting to survive. I want people to talk about it. I want to show off some of the stuff that no one ever sees because it's crammed into my bedroom. So I wanted to show people things and teach people things. And I started a YouTube channel. And truly, I do it to keep it alive because doll collecting can be misunderstood. This is Little Miss No Name. She was made in 1965, 1966 from Hasbro. She is notorious for being called scary online.
She's the doll who needs more loving care than any doll you've ever had.
But she is so cute. I don't understand why people find her scary.
Give her a kiss and hold her close.
Clearly she's not wearing a pretty dress, she's wearing like a potato sack.
She is wearing a potato sack.
So what's the message there?
This doll had a tagline on her box that was basically like begging you to take her home so she could have love, so she could find love.
Was it a hit?
No, that Little Miss No Name was not a hit.
And orange.
What about orange? Look at that one, she's in orange and blue.
Will Ashley's daughter continue the family tradition? It seems the current generation is not too interested in the belongings of their ancestors. But perhaps it's just a matter of being too young to be nostalgic. Shirley's granddaughter seems to be coming around on Chinese porcelain.
Grandma, do you think I'll ever be able to afford anything like that? And of course, at that moment, the will changed. And, yes, she won't have to afford it, she'll inherit it.
What advice would you have for somebody who is thinking, maybe I ought to collect something?
I would say to them, you're the luckiest person in the world because you have something that can entertain you, can intellectually stimulate you. You can admire, you can control. A whole new universe will open to you. What could be better?
Yeah. Dr. Shirley Muller's book is called Inside the Head of a Collector. The Toby Jug Museum is closed. If you want to buy a Toby Jug, you can go to our website, WGNTV.com.